How's it going? Okay, so there are two syntaxes you can use for React.memo. So one of them is, I'll just remove this. So you can do it this way, where you're wrapping React.memo, where your child component is inside, and then you're wrapping it in here, which means that this component innately is not a memo, but you wrap it inside the memo and just put it in here. And then there's the second one, which is this way, where you are wrapping React.memo like this. It's the same thing. They do exactly the same thing. Okay, so now I want to talk about the arePropsEqual function. So it goes in here. By default, it's already there, but you can write your own one by putting it in here. You see, so what it does, you're going to have previous properties and then next properties. So this was your previous property object, and then we have your new property object, probably will be better. So the important thing to understand about this function is if it returns true, the child will not re-render. So as you can see, well, let me show you normal behavior first. So let's just remove this. And let's put prop count as count. Okay. We obviously need to put the properties. Yeah, props in here. Fine. Alright. So now, every time we update the count, child is gonna get updated. So you see, child is re-rendering. Honestly, we can probably put count in here as well. Child, count in child, like this. Props, prop count, like this. So they're gonna be in sync, you see? Because we are updating the property. Now, if we add this thing in there, since this function is saying that properties are always equal, you will not see child updating at all, because the function returns true, and React.memo thinks that, hey, you know, the properties are equal, so we're not going to be updating. Now, the reverse is true. If you return false, it will always update. Always update. So we probably want to remove property. So now we have no property at all. So there is nothing to change. So I'll show you normal behavior. So now there is nothing to change, so the child is never gonna be rendering. You see? It's just not rendering. Now if we add the function and return false, because we are saying that properties are always different, it will always update. You see? It's just updating. So again, what is the purpose of this function? If you can set up conditions up to yourself, how you want to set up conditions, but the fundamental to understand, if it returns true, there is no update. If it returns true, there is no update. If it returns false, there is always an update. Okay, and that's about it. And outside of that, you can put comparison operators, like you can do whatever the hell you want inside of this function, but fundamentally, if you want the update to happen, you return false. If you don't want the update to happen, you return true. And from then on, you can just use previous property, new property. Now, fundamentally, it does shallow comparison. So, like in here, when you don't have this function manually created, it will do shallow comparison. So, it will look at properties, and it will not compare the content of the properties. It will only look at the object references. So, React.memo sometimes does not necessarily update when it should, because if the property object changes but the reference does not change, because you could be use memo in your parent component, it simply does not trigger the update. So in those situations, you have to manually do it from here, because this gives you access to keys. And then you can say, okay, a key is being changed, if so, update, which is return false. Otherwise, return true, which is whatever. I'm not going to show you an example because I haven't came across the use case for this at all, and I don't think, I doubt I will. But overall, you just have to understand that fundamentally, the compare function compares by object reference, not by the keys. So just do a bit of research on what is shallow comparison. I'll link this in description below so you can check it out yourself. Okay, take care, bye bye.